Welcome to This Week in Our Collective Heads. I'm Patrick, and Nintendo had their second press conference, um, second day of press conference Treehouse thing, and it's really apparent that they should have had this all in one day. I don't know why they really stretched this out, but they did. They stretched it out with a lot of gameplay. It was really cool to see the gameplay. But all of this could have been on day one. With all the repeats that they did with Zelda, there really wasn't a need for it. But they kicked it off with the right thing to start this off. You see, about 9 months ago, we had this little trailer pop up for a game called Pokemon Go. And it surprised it surprised all of us and intrigued all of us. And we've been waiting 9 months to see, okay, what exactly is this? What exactly will we be able to do with this? Um, and when we saw it, honestly, um, it really did not disappoint. It's Pokemon on your phone, geocaching locations. You find Pokemon in certain areas, you throw your Pokeball, capture them. It's fantastic. Here it is in real life. While they're doing it right there on the in front of a live studio audience, and there they are catching their Mew. Oh, sorry, Abra. See, this is what happens when you don't play Pokemon for a while. I've played, like I've mentioned before, I've played Pokemon a good amount, uh, not religiously. I don't, I'm not addicted to it like some people are. No offense to anybody who is. There's other games that I'm definitely addicted to. Um, but this game looks really fun. Not only does it look fun, they've talked about, they basically stressed how they were going to let, um, sorry, they talked about how they were going to let people be able to use this without even using the phone. So if you have the watch, the piece that was on the watch, you could also have it in your hand. You walk around, press a button, and or it'll start flashing if you're near it. You can press a button, and it'll tell you if it caught it. So you can walk around in a park or wherever you are, um, do that, and then capture your Pokemon without having to pull out your phone and be antisocial or whatever antisocial as capturing a Pokemon could be. One of the other cool things that they showed was Mario Party Star Rush, which I love Mario Party games. And this kind of, they're stressing the 3DS multiplayer. 3DS is fantastic, and it is the, what is it, like the fifth or sixth top selling console ever. Next to the 3DS is, I think 3DS is the second in the top selling consoles of all time, if you count handhelds and regular consoles. So they're stressing this the party multiplayer on a 3DS. Personally, I would rather play Mario Party on a console with a big TV with a bunch of friends. Uh, Drinks may or may not be there, but the point being that I don't see grabbing my 3DS, having someone else grab their 3DS, or going somewhere where we all have 3DSs and playing with the 3DSs. I don't see that as much of a thing, at least for my age group. Um, it definitely could be a thing for kids, for summer camps, for for sleepovers, whatever. Um, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. The game looks really fun. I just don't see the 3DS as that much of a multiplayer console for me. As fun as it is, it just doesn't seem like it's appealing in that type of scenario. We also got so after that we got the Yokai Watch. Oh, sorry, I actually jumped ahead just a little bit. We'll talk about Yokai first, though. So, um, the game looked interesting, but the I think the most interesting thing was that actually Kevin pointed out when we were chatting about this earlier, and he said that the most interesting thing was not actually the game, but it was actually watching the press conference and watching them try to explain what yokai are to Americans. It's a very Japanese concept, which I'll admit I don't understand as much as they do, obviously. Um, but they're saying, oh well, they're kind of like monsters, but they're not quite monsters, and they're not quite ghosts. But well, I guess you'd consider them ghosts. I guess that's the closest they could come to an explanation. So um, it looks interesting. They're really trying to make it interesting, but they're trying to get people interested in it. But it really didn't hook any of us. Talked to a couple people that were watching this. It really did not draw anybody's attention. One thing that did draw my attention, though, was a little brand new little game called Ever Oasis. And the first thing that I thought when I saw this trailer, which you'll start to see it pop up here in a bit, um, very Nintendo, obviously, but it looks like Animal Crossing and Monster Hunter and Animal Crossing, Monster Hunter kind of had a baby, and it looks addicting. It's an RPG. There's some battle combat for you right there. So it's a hacky slashy RPG, kind of Zelda esque on the 3DS. And in addition to doing all this amazing combat and having fun, you're also building out your Oasis as it showed earlier. Some puzzles. Um, so I mean, really, let's be honest with what this is. Um, it is a Zelda Nintendo esque RPG, and there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. This game looks like a lot of fun, and I'm really hoping that they push it the right way and they market it the right way. Because this is a brand new IP for Nintendo. They haven't had a new IP in quite a while, and this one looks really fun. Okay, yeah, there's some concepts in there that they've used in Zelda, and there's some concepts they've used in Animal Crossing. It looks like they're combining a lot of that. So you're creating your village, you're going off and fighting stuff, and you're creating farms, and that sounds like something that you could just pour an entire year into if they do it right. I'm hoping they made it that robust because it looks really cool. Another thing that they showed off was Monster Hunter Generations. So Monster Hunter Generations is Monster Hunter X everywhere else in the world, and you know what? It's really cool. It's fun. You got monsters, all kinds of fun stuff. Monster Hunter is one of my favorite games. Being able to go out, take down one of these large beasts, harvest the parts to then better your armor, better your weapons, gathering stuff to make potions. It's a very cool, very simple game at its core, but very fun. And like I mentioned before, they stressed the heck out of 3DS multiplayer on this. 4-player multiplayer on a 3DS. Looks great. I don't know how many people are actually doing that. I don't know if this is a big thing. It's probably bigger in Japan. Um, I go to a lot of conventions. I go to Comic Con. I go to gaming conventions, and you see people every now and then with 3DSs and that kind of thing. But they're not usually playing together. They're usually playing while they're waiting for something. Every now and then you have someone who's playing Pokemon with somebody else. But I don't know. Let's see how. I don't know how appealing it would be. Another thing that I don't know how appealing it will be is Dragon Quest. And I know everybody in the comments is booing me at this point. Yes, it's Dragon Quest. It's pretty. Yes, we all know. But is it worth it? I mean, really. Um, it looks like an interesting story, but I'm sorry. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. But I'm just not hooked by it. It looks okay, over 30 classes and all that, but it's hard for me. Even though I grew up with a lot of these older games, it's hard for me to get behind a game with the old school graphics. Um, yeah, and as I'm watching that, the entire time I'm thinking, this is dated, and it's new, but it's dated. It's not that old of a game. I mean, as I do this live. I think the game came out a couple years ago. Oh well, we'll talk about it later. So, whether or not it came out a couple years ago, the style looks dated, or it looks like it'd be something on my cell phone, and I'm just not digging it. I would rather have something that was a little more fleshed out, and have it on the Wii U. I seriously, I'd turn on my Wii U for that good of a story with better graphics. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be a graphics snob here, but just not digging that. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me why I need to play this game because I'm not hooked yet. And that was what they needed to do. Excuse me, they needed to hook me with this game, and they didn't. Another game that they did not hook me with was Tokyo Mirage Sessions #Faye. Um, Combat looks okay, but this game is more Japanese than Japan. This game is otaku to the limit. Persona, I can get behind. This makes Persona look like a Western. This is so overblown, just unapologetic. We're gonna be quirky to be quirky. I have I'm sorry, but it's just crazy over the top. And I'm watching it and thinking, I think this is on purpose. And this part right here, sorry, this doesn't really show it as much as some other parts in the conference I was trying to get a good snapshot of. But earlier on in the conference, or sorry, later on in the conference, it was showing like after a battle, these two girls decided to do a dance number and sing, and it was just crazy over the top, and it didn't come down. That quirkiness is cool, but you kind of have your ebb and flow. It's like comedy. You have the crazy guy and the straight man, and that meaning like the Chris Farley and the David Spade. You have one crazy thing going on, and then you have something grounded. You have to have something grounded to react to the crazy thing, to be an analog for us. So when something crazy is going on, so someone else can go, oh, and you laugh at both things. You laugh at the crazy thing, and you laugh at the person who's having a reaction because it's how you feel. It's again blown up a little bit, but this didn't have any of the down. It was just straight up, boom, 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 boom. Like I said, is it on purpose? Is it supposed to be overblown, unapologetic like that? I was not getting that impression. Maybe it's just me. I watch anime, but that was crazy over the top. So just completely rage at me in the comments and let me know how I'm wrong on all of these things. Tell me why I should be playing Dragon Quest, because right now it doesn't look like I'm gonna grab it. So what did you guys think of day 2? I thought it was a ton of Nintendo showing stuff that they could have shown before, that they could have all shown in day 1. I think this all could have been done on day 1. The PC gaming show only lasted like what, hour and a half or 2 hours, and they packed in more in that time than this, and that was a problem. And we'll talk about that tomorrow. See you guys later.